What's going on, everybody? What is happening? This is your man, Big B. Welcome to Steelers Almighty, man. Again, huge trade. The Pittsburgh Steelers, two trades that the Pittsburgh Steelers made today. One, Jalen Ramsey coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers, got traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick. A lot of people love the trade, myself included. I think it's outstanding. Pittsburgh Steelers got better, but that's not all. Jonnu Smith also coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a pick swap. The Steelers end up getting a 7th-round pick. The Dolphins get a 5th-round pick, but both of those aren't until 2027. So not even next year's draft, it's 2027. So the Steelers get a lot better. We were trying to bring on our man, Big G, but technical difficulties didn't allow for him to come on, so we apologize. He'll be on tonight, though, for the rant. So make sure you guys show up for the rant tonight, separate from the big show, which will be on Tuesday. This is just the rant that we have every Monday night. So he will be on and live with us for a couple segments talking about this trade. But look, the Steelers are just better. It's a better trade for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They look, whatever you want to think, they're fine. Hey, Brenda, how are you doing? They got better. We love Minkah Fitzpatrick. I'm not bashing Minkah Fitzpatrick going out the door. I know some people have done that. I'm not going to do that because Minkah was an outstanding football player for the Steelers. But this is business. Jalen Ramsey's a better player. Cornerback is a more position of need than safety. The Steelers are now better. Jalen Ramsey is more versatile. He can play outside. He can play inside. Hell, if you needed it to, he could even play safety. Now, he's not gonna. At least I don't anticipate him playing safety for the Steelers. I don't think that would be the move. But the Steelers' secondary is now better. Okay? Yes. Not to mention Jonnu Smith coming over in the trade for a 5th-round pick in 2027? Now, I'm first to recognize that Jonnu Smith is probably just a 1-year, player that the Steelers are going to have. But okay, that means the Steelers are trying to go for something this football season. They're not waiting until next year. Great. It's always, we're going to wait. Well, we're going to do this. And no, the Steelers are saying, not this year. We're going to try to win this damn thing. Great. I love it. Because, again, Jonnu Smith knows the system, has been very productive in the system as the second receiving tight end in the system. Okay? We had a great year in Atlanta when Kyle Pitts was there in Arthur Smith's system. Oh, by the way, you don't have freaking Desmond Ridder throwing him the football either. So, he's got a better quarterback at his disposal. I love it. So I think this is outstanding, man. I think this is absolutely outstanding. So the thing about it, I know that Minkah was a great player. He wasn't great the last couple years. In 2023, he was hurt. 2024, they just didn't ask him to do a lot based on the scheme. But I said it all along, and I'll continue to say it. You can't pay a safety. First of all, you shouldn't be paying a safety $18 million anyway. But second of all, you definitely can't pay one $18 million that you're not asking him to do so much. You're just asking him to be the last line of defense. You can get anybody to be the last line of defense. Are they going to be the caliber player that Minkah Fitzpatrick is? Probably not. But to spend money in other areas that need upgrades, you can sacrifice some on the safety position. Just period, end of story. So, period, end of story. Now, we got some people that say it doesn't make sense. A man said it doesn't even make sense. Even with draft picks, we go for what? A playoff win? For what? We do more harm than good. What? I'm not even sure what you're talking about here, my man. What harm than good? Like the Steelers gave up a 5th-round draft pick in 2027. So what part doesn't make sense? I know it's cool to be the guy online that we're just gonna bash any move that the Steelers make, but what? So I don't know. Felicia says, well, I always wanted a Minkah Fitzpatrick jersey. The Steelers will sell at $25 like GP and Harris after their trade. Yeah, I mean, look, you can always get an Aaron Rodgers jersey, Felicia. I know you're not going to, but you can always do that, And they'll still have a Minkah Fitzpatrick jersey. He's just not a Pittsburgh Steeler anymore. It's time to move on. I love the move. So, and yes, this is the perfect time to trade Minkah. He's not too old. He's not 32 years old. He can still play. I've always said Minkah can still play. Perfect time to trade him. We get an upgrade at corner. I love it. So, this is awesome news. A top corner, a beast of a tight end. It gives us more receiving threats at the tight end position. And it doesn't hurt our flexibility to still try to go and get another wide receiver. It doesn't do that. It absolutely doesn't do that. So I like it. Yeah, Minkah's going to want more money soon. And you can't pay a safety. What were they? I mean, he was already getting $18 million. What were we going to pay him? $22 million? A safety? Come on. No, you're exactly right. Lonzo Dunn said, finally, trade someone a year early rather than a year later. Yeah. And thank you for the super chat, Mr. Alonzo Dunn. Appreciate you supporting the channel. Absolutely. A year early versus a year later. So, Jamal says, who's deep for us now? Thornhill. He can be deep. I don't go by PFF very often because I watch my eyes. And Minkah's better than Thornhill. There's no question about that. I don't want anybody telling me that Juan Thornhill is better than Minkah Fitzpatrick. That ain't true. He had a better PFF number than him, but Minkah's better than him. But just because Minkah was better than him, that doesn't mean that Thornhill can't be serviceable. That doesn't mean that. And I think that's kind of what people are miscalculating. You don't have to have the best player at every single position in order for your team to be good. That doesn't mean that. So, doesn't mean that at all. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. Dude, they're saying Porter on one side, Slay on one side, saying through Chris on Locked On, and Noah say Jalen Ramsey, he'll be looked at to be in the slot. Okay. Great. That's what he can do. But it's crazy that people just said that they didn't need Jalen Ramsey. I'm like, you guys don't understand football. There's never been a time that any coach, any front office guy, or anybody that knows anything about football has ever said, we have too many corners. We have too many good corners on our football team. Yeah, we don't need that guy. We got too many. We got two. I know we got two, but we can't use another one. We can't use another good corner. Nobody's ever said that. That's why it blew my mind that people were saying, oh, well, we got Darius Slay. We don't need Jalen Ramsey. I'm like, he's better than they are. So, no, the Dolphins said that because the Dolphins are in salary cap hell. There's a difference, Torsia. Dolphins are in salary cap hell, so they needed the relief. That's the difference. The Steelers are not. The Steelers are not there. So, but I love the trade, man. I love the trade. I love where we're at. Somebody saying Ramsey's not better than Slay. You got to watch more football, man. I understand we love Slay. Jalen Ramsey is 1,000% better than him. And that doesn't mean Slay's a bad football player. Slay's great. Ramsey's just better than him. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. He's better than him. So, it's pretty simple. So, Mm-mm-mm-mm. Nah, I don't know, Felicia. They said that about Ramsey, that it was a weather thing, but I don't know. I don't know. So, dude, you're clueless. Ramsey has been getting cooked. Yeah, you're not watching football. I know the getting cooked. You're just not watching football. Just say I like Darius Slay better than Jalen Ramsey. It's okay to say that, man. It's okay to say that. So just say that. Hey, I like Darius Slay better than Jalen Ramsey. But since Jalen Ramsey has been in the National Football League, there has never been a time that Darius Slay is better than him. Never. And that's just the facts. So that's just the facts, man. I'm sorry. And it's okay to have a favorite. So it's okay to have a favorite. And again, I know a lot of people get online and they get into well, if you think one person's better than somebody else, that must mean the other person isn't any good. No, doesn't mean that at all. It just means one person happens to be better than the other person that's good. It's okay. So, my man Vaughn, what's going on, Vaughn? He said, I liked Minkah, but it was time for something great. Yeah, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. So, I 100% agree. Let's see. The key thing is we are forgetting is that Minkah was a leader and captain and hardcore locker room guy. It's part of it. Minkah was all of that. Minkah was a leader, big time in the locker room. There ain't no question about that. You're going to have to replace that. You're going to have to replace that. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. Having said that, you got other leaders in the football room or in the football locker room. You would you rather have a leader or better player at a position that you need? That's what it came down to. Because the brass knows what kind of leader Minkah Fitzpatrick was, but it came down to, do we want a better football player or do we want the leader? And the Steelers said we'd rather have the better football player. So that's what it is. That's what it is. There's plenty of other guys that the Steelers have that can be leaders on the football team. And he wasn't the only leader. If he was the only leader, that would be a different conversation. But he wasn't. He wasn't. No. It's definitely sad. But look, we can be upset and we can be sad about getting rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick. We can definitely be sad and upset about it. But the next thing is it what's best for the Pittsburgh Steelers? So, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So that's the difference. So that's the difference. So that's what we are looking for. Felicia says Ramsey and Minkah are both dogs at what they do. It's just we kind of watch Minkah grow since the second year in his career. Minkah can come back and retire Steeler. Yeah, that's the difference. Is that it's not, nobody said that Minkah's not any good, but it's the Steelers need a corner more than they need a safety. And especially at the price point. If Minkah was making $6 million to do what the Steelers are asking him to do, that would be great. But he doesn't. He doesn't. So he doesn't. Did somebody just say, ask Surrey about football? Yike. Reese, I know you haven't been around long, man. I get it. But the one thing I can assure you, I'm not going to ask Surrey to give me my football knowledge. Okay, brother? I guess that's what the new generation does. I get it. I get it. But man. So this Anton said, damn, bro, your head looked like the moon. But your mama likes it, though. And if your mama likes it, why should I change what my head looks like? Why do they want Jonnu Smith so bad? Jonnu Smith's going to make the offense better. Jonnu Smith makes the offense better. I'm not saying he replaces a wide receiver number 2. I'm not saying that at all. But he makes the offense better. So, to make the offense better. So, having 2 tight ends, being able to go into 12 personnel, you can split both those guys out. You can run one way or another. You can do a lot of different things with 2 receiving tight ends. So, and yes, he is definitely an Arthur Smith guy. Played well under Arthur Smith, too. So, I don't know if Cam Hayward's out of there. Because remember, the Steelers kept 4 tight ends last year. So, unless the Steelers decide that they want to keep a fullback, which I still hope the Steelers keep a fullback, if they don't keep a fullback, Connor Hayward's still going to be on the team. So, yeah. And it's not just a mind, Felicia. I guess that's the new generation is that, hey, go to Surrey. They'll tell you everything you need to know about football. Yeah, I'm not going to go to Surrey and ask them about football. I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do that. I'll just watch and my eyes will tell me everything that I need to know. That's all. My eyes will tell me everything that I need to know. So, let's see. Alonzo Dunn. Let's remember that TJ is the captain. He can't lose him or Cam. But B, I got to go. Felicia ain't talking and I need to leave. Uh-oh. Well, we appreciate you supporting the channel. We'll talk to you later, Mr. Dunn. We'll be on tonight. We will be on tonight. No, there's plenty of safety the Steelers can get. Go Browns, go. We get it. The Browns are going 17-0. We get it. We get it, brother. So what moves do they need to make left besides TJ? Wide receiver 2, that still hadn't changed. Still hasn't changed. So Digital, what's going on, man? Khan is making moves. Yep. Khan is making moves. Absolutely. We love Minkah. Thank you for your service. But it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Here's the thing about it, and I'll talk a little bit more about this tonight, is that the Steelers, this is a move that Pittsburgh doesn't do a lot. This is the thing that Pittsburgh doesn't do, is that other teams do these kinds of moves all the time. They get rid of guys that are good, that were all pro type of players, maybe have a little slippage, make a bunch of money, and it's time to move on. How often have the Steelers gotten rid of a guy a year too early versus a year too late? I mean, when has that happened? They usually keep them until the end. Well, the Steelers said, no, we can't do that anymore. We can't do that anymore. So that's the difference, is that they are making a move to say, hey, we got to move on now. Yes, there it is, Steve. Kevin Colbert would not have done any of the last 2 years' deals. No, he would not have. No, he would not have. And that's why you got to get, it was important to get new people in to do different things. So that's the difference. That's the difference. Pickens is a different story as far as getting rid of him. That was different. You know, that was the Steelers weren't going to pay this guy. He doesn't know how to act in the locker room. So that's the difference. That's the difference. Love the trade. Don't like it. Love the trade. Love both of them. Love both of them. So, yes, Pickens got himself traded. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. So, the difference is they weren't going to pay the trade Pickens, or they weren't going to pay him, so they didn't. And it was time for him to go. So, it's time for him to go. Time for him to go. Man, we appreciate you. The Wild, thank you for subbing to the channel. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support. What would Justin Simmons cost? Probably not much. Probably not much. Probably $3 to $5 million. He wouldn't cost much. Now Simmons didn't play great last year, so I don't know. I don't know. He wasn't great last year, but you throw him in with Thornhill, then okay. I mean, I would absolutely look to sign Justin Simmons if you can. Absolutely. So that's the difference. That's the difference. Oh, TJ's going to get signed. I wouldn't worry about that. He's going to get signed. But yeah, I 100%. So 100% would take a flyer on Justin Simmons. But again, I think the move that we're not talking about enough, the Jonnu Smith. So I think there's not enough people talking about Jonnu Smith. Is somebody, Phil, you're asking who's better, Ed Reed or Minkah? Come on, man. We all love Minkah. Ed Reed's in the discussion for the best safety in the history of the National Football League. Minkah is not in that discussion. So we got to stop. Yeah, we can always digital. We can always do another swing tackle. I mean, definitely some on the offensive line, some more depth there. No Tyler Boyd. Absolutely not. Tyler Boyd. And we'll talk. I can talk about this now. I was going to talk about this tonight, but I feel like we got other things to talk about tonight. But as far as Tyler Boyd, look, everybody said when we signed Mason Rudolph that, hey, he didn't have a good year in Tennessee last year because look at the weapons that he had. You know, the weapons weren't very good, so, you know, he didn't have a good year. Tyler Boyd was one of those weapons. So if Tyler Boyd wasn't good enough last year for Mason Rudolph to have a decent year in Tennessee because he didn't have weapons, why the hell would he be good enough to be on the Pittsburgh Steelers now? No, absolutely not. Not to mention, Tyler Boyd was always been butthurt that the Steelers didn't draft him. He has badmouthed the Steelers every single chance that he gets. So, no. No. So, we're not doing Tyler Boyd. Yeah, Ed Reed and Minkah definitely drinking that Thunderbird. Absolutely. Yeah, I love Minkah. I love Minkah. And I don't like the Ravens. I can't stand them, but truth is truth. They're not in the same discussion when you're talking about safeties. They're just not. They're just not. So, Yeah, there's nobody. Tyler Boyd, yeah. He had an opportunity. Like I said, he's talked about the Steelers' culture was bad, said the Steelers' culture is soft. We're not signing that guy. Not to mention, it'd be one thing if he was ultra talented. He's 32, not any good anymore. No. And what's he coming here to do? First off, he's a slot receiver. We got a bunch of slot receivers already, so we don't need that. Two, is he any better than Robert Woods? We got Robert Woods already. Tyler Boyd said no. Tyler Boyd said no. So, yeah, that's no. That's just a no. So, can't compare Minkah to Rod Woods. Here's the thing. I don't want to get into the comparing Minkah to all these all-time great, because now it looks like we're trying to bash Minkah going out the door. I don't want to do that. So, because I like Minkah. Again, my whole thing about Minkah Fitzpatrick is that he was just making too much money for what they were asking him to do. And you could say, well, they're going to ask him to do a lot more. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I don't know. But the bottom line is they didn't. So, and now we've moved on. So we all got to move on. That's all. We just all got to move on. We got to move on. Oof. Chris Olave, Christian Watson, or Romeo Doubs. The Saints aren't going to trade Chris Olave. That's not going to happen. Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs. I don't know that Green Bay is going to trade. I think Green Bay is going to look to try to get rid of one of those receivers. Somebody there they're going to look to get rid of. Who that is, I don't know. So, I remember a while ago there were talks of the Steelers trying to get Courtland Sutton from the Broncos. Yeah, I don't know that they're going to do that. The Broncos think they got a team this year, and Courtland Sutton's a part of that. I don't think that he's on the trading block anymore. So, yeah, it was last year, and then they ended up giving Sutton some money. Sutton had a good year. Him and Bo Nix worked well together, and Sutton wasn't asking for an exorbitant amount of money. How he was just, hey, man, give me some guaranteed money. I want to be here. And that's the difference. So, yeah, Courtland Sutton's not on the block anymore. I wanted the Steelers to go try to get him last year, but the Broncos didn't really want to let him go. And they damn sure don't want to let him go now. At least not right this second. Now, the Broncos hit the tank, 8 games in, and they stink. Different conversation. So, Gabe Davis, Justin Simmons, call it a day. I don't know about Gabe Davis, man. I don't know about Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis runs 2 routes, a post and a go route. That's all he does. That's not the guy you need across or opposite of DK Metcalf. Not in my opinion. I think you need somebody that can just go get open. That can just be a route runner and get open. So, no, I wouldn't take Deontay Johnson back. Deontay Johnson quit on 3 football teams last year. No. Well, 2. I don't know that he quit on Carolina, but he quit on the Texans and he quit on the Ravens. I don't want him any part. Hell, he quit on us. So no, I don't want any part of him. No. No. Yes, DJ can stay on the Browns. He can be on the Browns and be fine there. So, Steelers Insider saying we've signed Justin Simmons? I haven't seen that yet, but I've been on here, so. Or maybe they're saying we need to sign Justin Simmons. TMJ said only buying retired Steeler jerseys. Got a closet full of former players. I get it. So I get it. Somebody was asking about Justin Reed. I think Justin Reed is on the Saints. So B, you want to say the name Amari Cooper? I'm scared if you say his name. I don't understand what that even means. What are you talking about, Wild Bill? What are you talking about, brother? I'm with you. I mean, Amari Cooper at this point, I'd take him. Keenan Allen, I would take him. So, hey, if you all are in here, you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to jump off. We'll be live again tonight. Make sure you guys are here, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We will be live tonight talking about this, what the trades mean, what it means for the Steelers, not only now, but in the future, man. So this is good news. This is good news. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for showing up and showing out, man. I will holler at you guys tonight. Y'all have a good one.